Hello friends, this is Sundareshan and you are tuned to my channel for board members and senior management that helps you understand how to manage issues in your boardroom. Today we will be getting into the insights on how boards have to take care while preparing the financials on a going concern basis. Before that, you need to understand certain things very clearly. We are fighting to protect the interest of the stakeholders today. The board is taking all necessary steps possible in this regard. But the bigger responsibility for board members of corporations will be to assess the following. Number one, business continuity, which is, will my business continue to exist? Number two, if it continues to exist, then there will be a lot of contingent liabilities which are going to arise. Already corporations are talking about the force majeure clause and many of them invoking that clause. So contingent liability is the second most important thing in this journey. The next one is the going concern concept itself. The going concern concept is where the boards have to assess and analyze whether the company will exist in the long run. While business continuity may be a short-term measure, the immediate future, going concern is on a long-term basis. And if the board of directors assess all these three, if they succeed to keep the organization floating, kudos to the team. If not, the last option that is available is liquidation. Whether my company will go into liquidation or not is the last say in the matter. Let me just give you a heads up on each of these concepts. The business continuity. The board will have to work with the management to identify the organization's risk of exposure to internal and external threats. That is what all the boards are currently doing, which is to assess the internal and external threats. The next is, once this is assessed, the next step is the contingent liability. Now, what is a contingent liability? Simply put, it's a possible obligation that arises from past events and whose existence will be confirmed only by the occurrence or non-occurrence of one or more uncertain future events, and which is not wholly within the control of the entity. This is the future obligation. There is a present obligation that arises from past events but is not recognized. because of various factors. So friends, we should understand this contingent liability is a very, very serious issue where the boards will have to sit and start assessing the future obligation and the present obligation for a corporation. The next is the going concern concept. This or a principle. This principle primarily assumes that an entity will remain in business for the foreseeable future. Now, with this threat called COVID-19, how many of the companies will be able to take a call on this particular principle, which is a going concern principle? Some of the assumptions an entity takes on the going concern principle are: the entity in question will not undergo liquidation or will not wind up. Look at the certainty of the uncertainty which the boards are grappling with. The next is the entity will have all the significant information in hand to report the existence of the company in the foreseeable future. Significant information in hand. The last 19 videos on COVID-19 and the board responsibility we have dealt with on information, communication, where does it flow, how does it flow, and now it plays such an important role for the boards to determine whether the company will be a going concern or not. And if the board members do not get an answer on business continuity, contingent liability, or on the going concern concept, then the last remedy which is available for boards to take a call is liquidation. Liquidation again through various processes, and from my perspective, it will be the end of the road. No further can the boards travel. The buck stops there. Friends, keep writing, keep asking questions, stay compliant, stay safe. We will see one more video on this and we'll wrap up the series on COVID-19. Bye.